So for the whole time we've done Pastor Bob's Coffee Break, I've never done a Q&A. And usually we answer questions here, but there are some questions that are very quick and some questions that just kind of don't need a podcast, but they're significant. And I've just grabbed a few of them and I'm going to answer questions today. It'll be fun. Stick with me next on Pastor Bob's Coffee Break. I am the pastor your pastor warned you about. Isn't that a great mug? It's one of a kind, by the way. We didn't make any of these, but it was made for me. I just think it's awesome. And it's true. Well, we're going to do some questions and answers today, and this is going to be a lot of fun. So thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. And let's jump right in. First of all, this person says, I was wondering if you did any private counseling sessions or any private phone calls. And thank you for that. I wish I had that kind of time and that I could do that a lot more. The truth is, I work 15 hours a day. I mentor a lot of people internationally that are involved with the metal movement. I'm asleep by 7 in the evening. I get up at 3 in the morning and I hit it hard. And there just isn't a lot of time for taking on new people because I'm getting old. I know. So, but we have an awesome staff of people. Awesome staff. If you've been to the metalmatrix.com, you can see all of the people that podcast with me, and there are many of them, and man, some of them are awesome counselors. And so if you'd like to have one of them chat with you, they'd be glad to. And it isn't because I don't want to, it's just that I don't have that kind of energy to add any more to my plate. So, but thank you for asking. This person says, thank you so much for your podcasts. The one regarding the end times has carried me through this time. Awesome. You know, I love the feedback from specific ones that we've done that have affected you. And I get so many people writing in with those kinds of emails. Please keep them coming. The way you can get a hold of me is just questions at pastorbobscoffeebreak.com. And whether it's a question or a comment, whatever, please let me know. This one says, I watched the documentary on Extol today. I didn't realize you were part of that. I recently discovered Extol and am very impressed. And so am I. I love the guys. This is a movie poster here. And Extol. The movie is called Extol of Light and Shade. And this is, you know, it's such a great documentary of the band of heavy metal music, especially in Europe. These guys are from Norway. And yeah, I was really happy to be part of that documentary and did a lot of talking in it. And I've known the guys since 1999. And for a few years, actually, they led the worship at Bobfest that we did in Sweden, a festival that was named after me, and just loved working with them. And I've, you know, involved with them for a long time, still great friends. And if you haven't watched this documentary, you really need to. It's amazing. Anyway, this next question says, I'd like to get some history on the Metal Mardi Gras event you did. I own your jacket from it. That's awesome. Well, Metal Mardi Gras was the very first Christian metal festival, basically. It was awesome. We did it in California, 1987. Had a lot of bands, everybody from Bloodgood to Deliverance to Barren Cross to Guardian to gosh, on and on and on. Neon Cross, all the bands. Vengeance played their first concert there, and gosh, there was just so many, and it was awesome. And it's on video, and it's pretty much all on YouTube at this point too. But it was a great concert. We had two stages, and so while one stage was playing live, the other stage was setting up and went back and forth, and then we had all these game booths, kind of like a Mardi Gras thing, where you could play games and all this stuff, and it was really, really fun, very cool. And they had jackets made for all the bands, and the jackets had the Metal Mardi Gras logo in the back, and then in the front, it had the name of the band. And they gave a jacket to me, and it said Dad. Awesome. And I loved that jacket. It was awesome. And I'm happy that you own it. I'm sure it's probably been sold on eBay a few times maybe, but I'm glad that you own the jacket. And Metal Mardi Gras was awesome. And again, it's on YouTube if you want to watch it. This one says, greeting from Texas. I printed the Rad Studies guide, and I'm planning on going through it. I'm really looking forward to this study. I read slow, so it might take me a bit longer, but I'll make it. Good for you. So, greetings back to you, and I'm so glad you did that. If you go to the website, Sanctuary, I can't talk, Toy Boat. Let's try that again. Sanctuaryinternational.com, and go to the studies, the Rad Studies there. You can print it out, you can do it online, you can do whatever, but it's a systematic thing that takes you through, and you will totally enjoy it. And thanks for doing that. And he sent me a picture, and he had printed it all out, and it was in a very nice notebook, and that was very cool. Well, I get my share of interesting comments every single day. Here's a few from yesterday. One person says, false doctrine. I hope one day you will know the true doctrine of Jesus. This one says, you are the devil. Fake. Okay, then. And every day we get those. This one says, where do you film your podcast? Is this where you live? This is where I live. Now, I've told you before that currently, and this will probably change very soon, but currently I live in a space that's about 300 square feet. It's pretty small. And I'm sitting at a table that's in the middle of the room, and there are things all around me. You've seen me podcast with a lot of different backgrounds. That's all the walls in this space, and it's only 2 rooms. It's this room and a bathroom, and that's all. I have a little kitchenette here, and so what you see behind me is my bed. It's true. That whole thing folds down, and that's where I sleep at night. It's a Murphy bed, and this is where I live, and I live very simply. I live on the lake. It's a beautiful spot, and I love being here with all the ducks and the geese and the wildlife, and it's just like living in paradise, so it's been great. So this person says, I watch your podcast every day, but I'm not a lover of heavy metal. Why do you have that emphasis when it appears that so many of us are not metalheads? Well, I love the fact that people watch me who are not metalheads. But I've been working in pioneering Christian rock for almost 50 years now. And I am one of the pioneers of Christian heavy metal. And it's what I've worked with for the last 35, 36 years now, whatever it's been. Excuse me. So it's been a long time, and I'm really committed to this group. It's a group I dearly love, and not a lot of people stick around. A lot of people come and go, bands come and go, and I just watch a lot of people come and then leave. And there's this whole group that needs our mentoring, that needs our love, that needs instruction, that needs to be family. And so I still feel like that's the biggest thing I have to do, and I totally love it. So I won't be changing that. I'm happy that non-metalheads are joining me. That's really awesome. This person said, I used to love your podcasts. This is a person that's watched me for a long time. I used to love your podcast before the sales pitch stuff. I know you need money, but please preach more and sell less. I get that. I really do get that. And, I don't take more than 15 or 20 seconds out of 15 minutes to do that. But, I made a choice not to monetize this podcast, so you don't have to sort through a bunch of commercials before it actually begins, especially YouTube. I thought it'd be better if we had our own products that were in line with things I'm talking about and the feel of the podcast, and then that money could go to help support the homeless. And I've never asked you for money for this podcast, and that's the reason. And we do sell a fair bit of merchandise. Whenever I hold something up, one of our posters, they're free, you just download them. But I want these principles to not just be from the podcast, but I want them hanging on your wall, your refrigerator, whatever, so you remember them. And the coffee is a huge thing for us because the sales of the coffee go to the homeless ministry, and it's great coffee, but it fits in with what we're doing. And I really will take this to heart, because you're not the first one that's complained about that. And I'll try to figure out a way maybe to do it a little more quickly, but I can't stop doing it. It's what supports this. Okay. Most of your podcasts are subjects based on emotion. Have you considered doing more study-based lessons? I guess they mean more in-depth exegetical studies. And no, I really haven't. I have one more that I'm going to read after this too that'll kind of tell you why, but there are so many, the questions that I get are the ones that I answer. And I do answer some that are more of a study-based, but most are emotional because that's what people ask, and that's kind of what they need. And there's a lot of very instructional podcasts out there that are awesome. And when I look at the likes of Rabbi Zechariah or, David Jeremiah, or some of the people out there that are phenomenal teachers, I just feel like I can't do that. I don't have that kind of knowledge, and I'm not good at it like they are. But even on our own staff, we have Chris and Don that do the So What podcast, and others that are doing such a great job of teaching. Steve is doing the same thing in his podcast, and I just feel like we have things covered. I have a balance around me, so no, I think I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because I think it's important. Here's the last one. It says, thank you for all you do, Pastor Bob. If it hadn't been for your podcasts, I would not be alive. There are many days I am suicidal. I watch your podcast, and it's always just what I need. And that's the reason I do this. So, I I realize there's a lot of you out there that are struggling so hard. And I get these that people say I'm suicidal, and I've had people commit suicide in my house. My sister committed suicide last year. Her husband committed suicide the year before. It's a very, very dear subject to me. And I realize the number of people that are going through it, that are sad and depressed and emotional. And I want to keep feeding you. I want to keep giving you hope. I want to keep, giving you the keys that you need to get out of that and to begin to function again. And that's why we do this. And let me just say one more time that I really love you. I really do. This is a labor of love. I didn't need one more thing to do, honestly. But it's a labor of love. I love spending this time with you, and I love what we're doing. And I hope you enjoyed a little Q&A. Maybe we'll do it again sometime. You let me know if you enjoyed this. And don't forget, you are blessed. So go and be a blessing.